I just did all of this without the sniff, without the camera turned on. I took 2 cardboards from tea boxes and I roughed them up with a sanding sponge. I roughed up this plasticized side, and they're in the covers as stiffeners here. And here I have a rubber band on it for a signature. These are all slightly larger ones I pulled out. I have a little bit smaller than this. So I can stretch that far to hold in the folded signatures. Alright, I think I'm going to let this dry one layer at a time. All my years of sewing and my semester of sewing in high school with a very good teacher, I'm sure I've mentioned it before, made me not afraid to rip out a seam if it wasn't quite right, and to press every seam before I went on to the next step. So let your glue dry before you go to the next step. I think I'm going to have to glue these sides one by one also, so that I can weight it down while it's folded. Remember, we talked about once you put this inside, even though these are the same size, when you fold it, this gets slightly larger because it's that much inside. So you need to trim those down and glue them on when they're up and not when they're down. A lot of times I use Aleene's tacky glue for this kind of gluing also, because it's flexible. But this also stays fairly flexible. I noticed it was off because I wanted to make a comment on some interesting news. My camera's crooked. I knocked everything over last night. They found that in areas where pharmaceutical companies have done a lot of advertising and provided the doctors with samples and all, there are more deaths from opioids. Was there a big study done to figure that out? I hope nobody I'm talking to is having a problem with prescription painkillers. I'm going to give my little pep talk right now. Whenever you have to take something like Vicodin or a codeine-based painkiller, and it says take it every 6 hours, you get yourself a clock. You put that down. You put your pill bottle right next to your clock. And you put a 3x5 card right next to your clock and your pill bottle and a pen. And those things stay there. Can't find a pen, grab any pencil that's close by. When you take a pill, you take it with water, you write down the time and what you took. When you need another pill, you look at the time. If it's less than 6 hours on an ordinary day, you cannot take it. You can take them every 4 to 6 hours. If you've had major surgery, you're going to need them every 4 hours. But what you're going to be doing is shooting to make the gap between pills 6 hours. And then you're going to make that gap bigger and bigger, and you're going to start switching over to ibuprofen. And that's how you don't get addicted to painkillers. A clock, a 3x5 card, a pencil, and your medicine. You write it down and you follow those directions to the letter. Do not ever drink with painkillers. It will kill you. And you just have to take those things to heart and determine that you are going to live. I didn't do this on the other one, but it's a good idea to rough up these smooth plasticized surfaces. To give glue a place to hold on to. You can hold on to this because it's paper and it's already rough. But this is too slick for plastic glue. Plastic glue is this. This is plastic. I'm sanding it up here instead of on the table because the camera's on the table. It's easier though. Okay. There. And this other glue isn't 100% dry, but it's dry enough. It's flat. When I didn't do as much gluing as I've been doing with this mixed media, it's just my therapy for keeping my mind off of other things. Thank God I have art, right? Don't we all? Don't we all? Thank God that we have art to do and skills to bring to it. All right, that looks pretty tidy, actually. Feels tidy. Ooh, it actually feels good and solid. It feels really nice. I'm going to let this side dry. Yeah, but before I was gluing as much as I do with these, I would do this kind of a gluing process and weight it down flat overnight with books. But I already have books in stacks all over the place it is. I wouldn't know where I left anything. I'd be like a squirrel running around in my stacks of books going, is there something weighted down in here? No, there, no, what? My tail. All right, so it's almost done. And like I said, I put one of these on here. And I believe it is one of these smaller sizes. I picked all of these larger ones out earlier, but I think actually they can go, I should put them aside to go on, well, this is the same size. Like soap, the Arm & Hammer soap box. So I keep the larger ones for those and the smaller ones for these because I'm trying to make a dozen. And I'm going to give them away. And I'm going to post these videos too for people that get them so they can see how they were made. Well, no, I was going to say I could do a flip on this. I think I'm just going to put it in because it's part of the how-to with these guys. This one is also not sewn. These are just wrapped around. This is waxed linen. And it holds in the signatures here. But I can still slip them out to work on full pages if I choose to do so. So this has just grown little by little, and I have been judicious in putting things inside. This is, I like convertibles and turquoise. Yes, I do. And there was a real pretty turquoise Brigitte Bardot that I found. These two came out nicely together. This is a nice page. Here's things I like. Well, and there's, I saw the number 5 in gold by William Carlos Williams, and that was the poet. I've forgotten the artist's name. Charles Demuth. Here. This is something I've had for a long time. I love root beer floats, and I love children's art. And this was done by a little girl near here who does some really nice artwork. This I'd had for a long time and looked at it and said, you know, the back, it's somewhat bas relief, but it is flat. I'm just going to glue it down. I'm going to glue it down right here with the verticals. And this gives this whole unit, which was just, you know, fairly nondescript right here, some meaning. There's some writing I can do in there or more gluing, but it's taking shape nicely. And I love the turquoise and salmon, or the aqua and salmon. Red, orange, and blue violet, or blue green and red orange also. Red orange and blue green and red violet. And no, I think I'm not going to